how to get your company organized without making it corporate. Now, corporate is a very negative thing, especially in today's world where you look at a company, you're like, oh, they're so corporate. There's so much bureaucracy, office politics, whatever you want to call it. And this really happens because of one very big reason. And that is that corporate pretty much refuses to give people the opportunity to do great work. Now, what do I mean by that? There's this book I'm reading right now called Deep Work by Cal Newport. There's a fascinating study in there that really kind of caught my mind because it completely changed my perspective on what people do and don't like about work. And basically the study is that they took a very large group of people, and this was back in the 80s when they still used pagers. They took a very large group of people. Each person got a pager. And at random intervals during the day, they would get paged. And what they had to do is write down in that moment what they were actively doing and how they felt about it. So basically, they got a sediment of what people were doing and what their feelings were about the thing that they were doing. That's pretty much it. And they did this to normal people. They wanted to get an idea of how people felt and responded to the different things that they did throughout their normal days. And the very interesting thing to me was that, generally speaking, they were a lot happier when they were at work than when they were at home. And this kind of boggled my mind because everybody kind of looks at work negatively, right? You think, oh, I have to go into work tomorrow. I have to go do this thing. I have to go, be there at the certain time. We think of work as something so negative. But this was the complete opposite. This whole study kind of shifted my perspective because it really showed me that when you do great work, you actually enjoy that. And you enter in what is called the flow state. There's a lot of books on this as well, but Cal Newport talks about it a little bit as well. The flow state is kind of your deep work where you have things you're doing, things you're executing on, your next goal's there. You know exactly what to do next, and you're completing and providing value to the people around you. And that gives you kind of like fulfillment, but also gives you the opportunity to feel like you're doing something relevant. And it's a lot easier to kind of enter into that happiness and flow state at work than it is at home when you're like relaxed and you could kind of do whatever when you're relaxed, and it's really hard to set up that very specific way to kind of do great work when you're relaxing, basically. So that kind of changed my perspective on work. Really, the goal is to create that environment system of work. I even have a little chart here, and this is exactly what we do. We are kind of the execution layer, the middle layer, and you have your company goals, the things you're trying to achieve, the things you're working towards. Then you have your tools, your execution, the things you're actually doing. But a lot of companies miss how that's done. And that's sort of the system of work, the way work is facilitated. That's the execution layer. It's how do we relate goals into the things that we're actually doing? How do we create room for deep work? How do we create room for the flow state? How do we create room where, or a system where everybody knows what to work on next? That's what a lot of these companies miss. A lot of our clients miss, and a lot of what we try to fix when we work with new clients. So if that sounds like you, I would love to chat with you. There's going to be book a call in the description below. Just click the link, grab a slot with me personally. I'd love to chat and understand what your company is currently doing, what you're currently struggling with, and how we could potentially help create a better system of work for you. Because it's not just about tracking goals or tasks or projects and making that effective. That is super important. But if you really want to attract A players and build a company that is incredible and amazing like we have, you have to create and facilitate a space for those A players to thrive. And you have to create it in the system of work, the way that work happens in the company. Because if you don't, those people will never be happy. So hit the link in the description. I'll catch you in the next one.